Let's see here. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. This will give the people a minute to get in here, too. Oh, there we go. Look at that beautiful camera happening. There we are. What's up, folks? Welcome to another Wheelchair Wednesday here at the Wheelhouse. I'm your host, Wheelchair Rick. I'm a T3, T4 paraplegic myself. But enough about me. We're going to get to our next special guest, who comes to us all the way from Colorado. Denver, Colorado. But before we get to her, let's go ahead and run the intro. Welcome to Wheelchair Wednesday. All right, everybody, let's welcome Elle Rose. Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Now, before we got into here, you actually, you as well as everybody else has been on the show has known that we have had some crazy technical issues. And with you, we actually figured it out. So I want to say thank you for that.
Glad to, yeah.
You'll go down in history as being the one. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're going to go ahead and ask you 10 questions about life in a wheelchair. All it is it's your story. So you can tell us whatever you want to tell us. You can share as much as you want or as little as you want. It's completely up to you. The first question that I have is probably the one that you get the most, is what happened? How'd it happen? So go ahead and just introduce yourself, where you're from, and let it rip.
Yeah, so my name is Elle, and I'm originally from Northern California, but then I moved to Washington State when I was around 20. And so that's where I was living at the time of my injury. And basically what happened, it's a little bit complex, but I was at an event and I was actually given like an overdose of something. And so
Oh, man.
I ended up, it was really horrible. And I ended up driving away. I was ejected from my vehicle, went to the hospital, but I actually wasn't paralyzed until 24 hours later. They did some surgeries without stabilizing my neck, and I ended up having complications from that. So, I ended up getting life flighted to Seattle, to a hospital there called Harborview. And then I was from there in different facilities until I went to Craig Hospital in Denver, Colorado. And then I was able to get more rehab there. But
I heard Colorado's got like some of the best, rehabilitation centers and stuff. Would you attest to that?
definitely, yeah. And the Medicaid here is really good too.
Nice.
So it's kind of a good place to go.
So pretty much it's like a medical mishap then, I guess, is what happened to you then, right?
Yeah, so it's considered malpractice because they were negligent to like stabilize my neck. They were never, like, I was never put into like a halo or anything. So my neck was like not, properly taken care of. And then I ended up like throwing up after like the surgeries, and they didn't give me like anti-nausea medication as well.
Oh,
so
man.
The whole combination. Yeah, it was a combination of just negligence, but.
See, I can imagine even throwing, and this is after you were paralyzed, like trying to throw up, or?
So this was leading up. So basically, like, after my car accident, when I got to the hospital, I was still moving and talking, breathing fine, and then they decided to do some surgeries.
Oh, man.
Without my consent. And because my eye was all lacerated because I flew through my windshield. So my left leg was broken and my left eye was
Ouch.
lost. Yeah.
All right.
So
How long ago was that?
this was in August of 2020.
Oh,
So
okay.
about 4 years ago.
Right. Man, so in that 4 years time, like you sounds like you probably been through it and around it, above it,
Yeah.
and down it, and all over it. Um, one question I got for you, which is kind of, it's kind of like a, well, yeah, of course, but then you got to think about it. Would you walk if you could?
Mm-hmm.
And by that question, what I mean is, if you could go back to the time that it happened, would you, make a different choice and keep going down that path that you were going, or would you stay where you're at now and with all the knowledge that you
Oh,
have and everything else?
I mean, of course, like I would want to go back and probably go to a different hospital.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Not that one. That was a very horrible place to end up alone with no help. Um, because my family was not around and, no friends in that area to help me. So I would not advise ending up at a hospital alone when you're in need of help.
Right.
But at the same time, yeah, of course I would want to go back and change all my decisions that night and avoid that situation. Of course I would rather be walking right now and breathing on my own.
Well, it sounds like you had a pretty good path. I mean, it's not like you were a bad kid and you were going down the wrong path and you made a bad decision like a drunk driving or something like that. You know what I mean? You kind of just got slipped some stuff and
it was a really bad, yeah.
Crazy situation, yeah.
But wrong place, wrong time, yeah.
Right, for sure. Well,
People.
I mean, I gotta say, you take it pretty good. You look great. I mean, your spirits look high. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I try.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And by I try, like we all understand that, but it's like it's crazy to think.
Yeah.
What like a paraplegic has compared to a quadriplegic. It's just like night and day. You know what I mean? And so.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't take it into consideration. What about dating / married? Were you dating before the accident? Are you dating now, or with the same person, or did it change? Or
yeah, no. So the person, so in Seattle, a lot of people are like polyamorous, and so I was dating a few people, and one of my exes was there for me throughout my injury, throughout my hospital stays. But we became more like friends, and then we ended up just not really being able to stay in contact. So yeah, now I'm a little like back and forth. I was dating someone long distance, but I just I don't know. I think it's hard to find people that are like really accepting of all of the things that go along with dating like a severely disabled person. So I talk to people, but it's kind of hard for me to let my guard down because I'm really like protective of my injury and like
right.
I guess the way
Well, especially like I don't know, I can only imagine, you know what I mean? Like I am the way I am, but everybody's different, and to be like you were before the accident, like I don't talk to many polyamorous people, but I'm guessing like now it's it's even probably harder to like actually gain somebody's trust, or even trust somebody that's like wanting to come in and try to open themselves up to you for what reason you don't know.
Yeah, and a lot of people I think base a lot off of like your abilities physically, and
right, like what can you do, what can you offer, what what I mean, what's
so, and sometimes I just don't have the energy at all, so I don't have the energy to even like think about it when I'm dealing with all these other things in life.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, it's a crazy world when it comes to like disabled dating period, like depending on different stories. We've heard multiple. I don't know what number you are on here, but I think it's like number 65 or something like that we've done wheelchair
Wow.
Wednesdays. So you can imagine,
Yeah.
like, I've heard like all kinds of different stories, and it's um it's crazy just to hear about what's going on. And like your situation, you're right. Like if you don't have anybody right now, like it's not, you got a lot of other things going on above and beyond that, and I mean, if you're believing enough, I feel like it'll happen when it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to think that way.
Right, right. Hopeful thinking, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
what is your biggest pet peeve about being in a chair
Oh God.
or just being disabled, period?
Just, I mean, just having to like rely on people for everything.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of a broad sweep generalization. But yeah, I mean, there's really no one thing, I guess. It's just like, you know, not being
A
able
mixture of
to even,
everything, yeah.
yeah, just even for a drink of water or like, being one, like, especially like if it's like in the middle of the night and, I just want to be able to like, yeah, get up and do one thing, and I can't. So it's like
Right.
kind of, yeah.
No, I feel you. I mean, I'm pretty much like once I go to bed and I'm in my bed. I mean, I'm T3 T4, so I'm chest down.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could get up and get in my chair probably by myself if I really tried to and like go adventure off, but like,
Yeah.
who knows what's gonna happen? I don't want to like mess up and fall, and then I'm just laying there by
Yep.
myself until the morning or something dumb.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
No,
scary.
it's scary. Yeah. Yeah. And I was very independent before.
Hmm.
So like
I was gonna
and I
ask you, how
never,
old were you when
like,
this happened to you?
so I was 25
Okay.
and now I'm almost 30. So yeah. And time goes by so weird. Like, that's another thing I don't like.
What do you mean by like time goes by weird? Because like I've thought this too, like since my accident, but like I want to hear what your thoughts on that is.
I feel like it feels like it goes by slowly, but it goes by so fast because there's always stuff happening that's like either related to my health or my caregivers or like my living situation is always changing, and like it's stressful and it makes time go by actually quite fast, but I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. I just feel like time is going by and I'm like trying to like keep up with everything all the time. And
Yeah.
before, I didn't worry about my health, or, all I worried about was going to work and, you know, living in the PNW, going hiking, or, uh, spending time with my dog, stuff like that.
Right.
And now it's like all of that is gone. And I'm lucky if I, go out and do fun things during the week. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. My that's kind of why I wanted to ask you, because like my experience with the whole thing too is it's just like you said, it's time goes fast, but it's slow at the same time. Like you can sit down and like enjoy, 20 minutes of sunshine, and that 20 minutes will go so slow. But then when you're
Yeah.
getting up and you're moving, you're worried about, oh, my pain, or this or that, or what do I got to do? What have I
Yeah.
not accomplished? Or you know what I mean? It just, then you're like, oh man, it's already coming up. Like it's already today. What in the
Yeah.
world? Like it just flies. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So no, I totally understand that. I'm gonna turn all my stuff down here. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's a good point. Here's a question for you. What is something that you wish you could do now that you could do before?
Oh.
If you could just pick one thing.
Okay. Um. Dang. I mean, probably be just like jumping into a mountain lake, like that feeling of just like uh, freedom and movements and nature, just like looking up at the trees and the sky and just
Right.
like perfect bliss. It's pretty much like the embodiment of bliss, I would say. Yeah.
I've never myself jumped into a mountain lake, but you make it sound nice.
It's pretty epic. Yeah. Climbing up yeah. And in Washington State, there's lakes everywhere. You can't like avoid them.
So you're one of those like
So
cliff
it's,
jumpers, huh? You probably go up and hike up and then
oh
jump
no,
high. Oh no, you're like I don't know.
no. I never really liked heights. Well, I like the feeling of like being, on top of a mountain, but I just mean like jumping from like the shore to a lake.
Oh no, for sure.
Moderate jumping.
Yeah, see here, I'm in Michigan,
I'm
so
not.
we get the Lake Michigan effect.
Oh yeah.
So we've been like I've been to like big beaches and stuff like that, but it's a little different. You know what I mean? It's fresh
Yeah.
water, so it's
Yeah.
nice. You know what I mean? It's not really salty or oceany, but
Yeah.
um,
No, that sounds nice.
when you say like mountain lake, like I have a picture in my mind of like like a calendar of a beautiful like mountain with a little cove lake in it. You know what I mean, or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, up there where you're from.
Yeah. Those are
Um,
all. Yeah.
let's see. Somebody else asked a question the other day that if you could get, and I thought it was really interesting, if you could get one function back, what would it be?
Just one. I mean, probably the use of my right hand, because I feel like I could do a lot with just one hand.
Mm-hmm. For sure, that's
Like
new.
if I could just like do my own like brush my own teeth, do my own makeup, like I could do a lot.
Right.
Even drive my chair, because right now I use my mouth to drive my chair.
The puff and sip. Yeah, the old PNS. You were talking about looking for people to do stuff earlier. I was going to mention I literally have a box right behind me full of stuff that I've got from garage sales and going around that I need people to like put up for me because I can't. That's what the life is like normally.
Yep.
But yeah, so the puff and sip, I've always wondered like how does that work? So if you go forward, what do? You just blow in it or something?
So you puff. Yeah, so you puff really hard to go forward. And when I first started using it, I had very bad lung function.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really difficult for me because I couldn't control. Now I have a little bit more strength in my lungs, so I'm able to use it pretty well. And then it's just a series of sips and puffs, depending on how hard you blow it. I usually use like lighter puffs to like get through my settings on my wheelchair screen, and then I have this little clicker.
Oh,
and the
nice.
clicker helps me go through my menu like on my screen, so
okay,
works pretty well. Yeah.
Heck yeah. What about your pain level?
So I have a lot of pain in my upper back, my chest, my armpits, and my arms. That's like where most of my spasms come from. It's always spasming. I did start wearing like a little brace on my upper back. That's been helping a lot. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm always stretching and doing like massage and stuff because everything is like constantly sore. But
All right, I can imagine. Do you have a helper, like a person that comes in and does that for you?
so I have caregivers 24/7. And each of them are like trained on how to stretch me, and I have like a massage gun I use too, so we'll use that sometimes. And yeah.
Nice. One thing I didn't ask you about, which I don't know why our comments aren't working. I'm sure some people have asked us already, but so I'm guessing you got like a malpractice suit against the hospital, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they probably covered you like for life, pretty much. Oh, there's Maldito. It's
Um,
working.
they lowballed me.
They lowballed you?
I, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell no.
by a lot. So, I mean, you would think, oh, like, I got a settlement, I'm set for life, but no. Um, so, I still have to save a lot and use my own Medicaid check to pay for rent and any other things that I,
Man.
need. Hmm.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine it. And it's just like, and there are skeezy. I'm sure you get. Did you get like a lawyer, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do this and that." And
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I would have been just
Yeah.
happy,
He
like,
fought
give me free
hard.
free healthcare for life, like period. Like anything I need, that's what
Yeah,
I
that's
want.
exactly. Yeah. No, and that's the thing about the medical industry is they're all in league with each other, So, um, going up against that is actually really hard because
Oh, it's a
most
giant.
lawyers, yeah,
Yeah, it's going
but
up against a giant. Most lawyers are just gonna do
yeah,
what's best for them and try to get in and out with making everybody happy.
yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it's definitely pretty shameful. Like in America, the way that malpractice cases are so rampant, and most people never get compensated, honestly. So
Right.
I'm lucky that I did get a little compensation, um, but definitely not enough for full time care the rest of my life.
Right, and we could have a whole show on like just the situation in America as an entirety of how bad it is. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah, and state by state, I don't understand why Medicaid is so different depending on the state because, like in Colorado, there's really good Medicaid, but I can't even move back to Washington State because there's not going to be the same Medicaid available to me.
Right.
So I would end up in a nursing home, which is not going to happen.
Ah, man. Well, I do feel
Yeah.
for you. It's a crazy world we live in, and I feel like now we're just in it to either inspire ourselves or others. You know what I mean? To get through it, because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like at the end, it's these are just temporary bodies. We just got to get through it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the whole ride, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a strange ride.
You got that right. Number 7 is what helped you the most after your injury.
Mm. Well, definitely the people around me. I was able to, be with family and then just really find amazing caregivers, and they helped me through like the darkest parts of just recovering and
Mm-hmm.
dealing with the emotional devastation and loss. Um, and I also would utilize like meditation and just being out in nature. I'd go out and just soak in the sun,
Mm-hmm.
and that would really help me just to like kind of like get back into my body, a feeling of like, you know, feeling good in my body again, even though I can't move it,
Right.
um, just feeling like I'm part of the earth again.
That
Um,
definitely helps, and I'll tell anybody watching or listening on audio right now is I highly recommend, like, if you're new injured or you just want to figure out a way to even feel a little bit better, go out in the sun and just sit there and just enjoy it, and look around or just close your eyes, you know what I mean, listen to the sounds and sights. It really helps. Even 5-10 minutes of that a day will help tremendously.
definitely,
Um,
definitely.
Now we're getting comments in. Maldito says he has zero support from the government. They told him that he had to sell everything and be broke until he could get health care. I don't know if you know Maldito Arnito.
And
He's pretty big in the
he's in,
community.
yeah, yeah. No, I follow him, and he's in Florida, right?
Yeah, yep.
See, I'm worried about that because I wanted to move to Florida, but I don't know if they would, be able to give me the 24-hour care that I need,
Well, and that's something too that I thought about because I live in Michigan, and it's cold here, like 5 months out of the year. And I'm just like I'm sick of it. I got titanium in my back. I want to be warm. And they told
Yeah.
me that they will that my particular situation will transfer to like
Oh,
an
wow.
auto owner's insurance in Florida or something because I'm through auto
Okay.
owner's insurance. So
Okay.
you know what I mean? I
That's
guess
good.
it's just like it depends on what carrier you have and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, it's so many different situations. So I guess it just depends really on the ins and outs and the
Yeah,
blacks
on the
and whites of the
person.
situation, right?
Right, right. But that's
Um,
insane.
yeah, no, for sure. The next question I got for you is your hobbies. Now you said some stuff about hiking and stuff, but like what was your biggest hobbies before you got into your
Yeah.
accident, and then what do you do now type deal?
So, yeah, before I was always outside. I was always like, I lived on an island in the Pacific Northwest for a while. So I was always like kayaking or hiking or, love to go out dancing. Pretty much, anything that was like movement oriented, like I did yoga. I was very physical. And so, I mean, I even like when I was younger, I would do horseback riding and stuff. So, a lot of physical activities and stuff like that just helped me process like mental things, So I would always be really, and then I love like nature. So um, now, I mean, I still can go on trails as long as they're like paved for the most part. I'm able to go pretty far just with my sip and puff, which is um, amazing.
Right.
But besides that, like, I don't know, I'll, just, it's definitely changed a lot, my hobbies, because most of the time I'm just managing like my care team and I don't do a lot of things just for fun because I get really exhausted. But, going to concerts like now and then, I went to Red Rocks in October and that was
Oh,
like
I heard
pretty,
that was really sweet. I've seen videos of that. That is such a good little theater.
it's epic. Yeah. And it's nice because with being disabled, you get like front row seating. So being right up close to like the performers, that was pretty awesome. I
I've
love
heard
music.
that's the best like stuff is to get up right up in the handicap row seating, and I don't know about everywhere,
Yeah,
but like at least that's one benefit that like our community gets
that is one benefit. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
for sure.
So that's pretty awesome. And I love music. So anything music related, you know.
Heck yeah, you have to check out our jam sessions. Sometimes we come up with some cool hits. Other times we're just sitting
Oh, no.
around like a bunch of a bunch of dudes
Yeah,
talking about whatever. Um,
that's right.
Yeah, right. That's what I said. Because I mean, I used to do music too. I mean, I guess I still do, but I used to like actually make tunes, and so it's like we're trying to get
Oh,
back
wow.
into doing some cool stuff. But
Yeah.
every time we get together, it's just like we'll come up with some cool ditties, and then there we go. It's all now
Yeah.
it's 1 o'clock, and we're like, what are we doing? Oh my gosh, we got to quit and go inside. And we didn't come up with one song or anything, but we jammed out a bunch of little ones.
Hey, that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I used to like before, but my voice isn't as good now.
Right. Well, and I mean, with what I've kind of noticed too is like you said with the lung function. It's so hard. Like I can't go high no more. I can't hit high notes.
I can't.
Um,
Yeah.
and it's so sad. Like
It, yeah.
but there's nothing we can really do about it. You know what I mean? So we
Yeah.
gotta do what we can, I guess.
Yeah.
Do what you
Yeah.
can
For
with what you
sure.
got.
I used to also play guitar, cello, and piano.
Nice.
So
Actually, I have piano behind
that's
me. I'm
also,
learning. I'm getting playing again. I used to play a little bit, but
yeah. And that's like, I mean, that's hard to go from like playing the music to just being like a listener.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. I can't even imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
and just to like maybe even to hum a note, you know what I mean, to come up with I want you to play
Hmm.
this. That would be kind of cool, you know what I mean, to sit and be like and then help make songs, but still
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Um uh Where are we at? Okay, yep, right here. What is your thoughts on travel?
Ooh, I mean, I just wish the airlines could like have like a lockdown. Like, I wish I could drive my chair onto an airline because um, I really want to be able to like go visit places, but I'm so scared that my chair is gonna get ruined in the cargo,
Oh, it's such a
and I
bad
can't
time
really,
too right now for airlines.
yeah, and I can't sit up like super straight because my breathing, but also like my blood pressure. I have really bad blood pressure. It's like really low. So when I sit up like super straight, I could pass out.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
so I mean, I could take like blood pressure medication, but my body's super sensitive, so it'll like go way too high if I take the medication. So I would have to be like in first class, being able to tilt back, I guess. And I'm just like, that's way too expensive. So I don't
Right.
know. I guess I could road trip.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Because like I won't do a plane, even though I probably could. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
the chair thing. First off, second off, I've never been a plane guy. I don't know. I don't like. Nah. I mean, the only way I would take a plane is if it was like a private flight, and it
I
was
see.
like, you know what I mean, something like that. But even then, I'd be a little skeptical. I don't know. I'm
Hmm.
just one of those guys. I don't know. But road trips for sure. Like I definitely do want to
Yeah,
do something close enough, and like I don't know. I would rather go see my own country first, I guess, than go explore the world. Um, that's just where I'm at though. But
yeah.
for sure, it's
Yeah,
just
well, I'd love to go to like Italy or something.
yeah, yeah.
But then sipping, puffing on the cobblestones would be something
Oh
else.
man, I tell you what, I went to a zoo once that had cobblestones, and it was just horrible. Even just in my Promobile, it's me myself.
Yeah,
It's horrible, and I couldn't even imagine you in your situation. You'd be
just
like sipping, puffing, be going everywhere. You'd be trying to get going down the road. It'd be funny.
hey, at least it kind of gets out my spasms, you know.
Right. Oh,
But
Renee said, "Hey Rick, I'm flying to Mississippi in the morning. See, there we go. There's a wheelchair mafioso flying out. Hey man, I
nice.
hope they take care of your wheelchair. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yep. So the last question I got for you, Ellie, is the most important, I think, and like we talked before the show. If there was a newly injured person right now sitting in their hospital bed watching this on YouTube, what would your most important piece of advice be to that person?
Don't give up, even if you really want to, because I mean, things can always get worse. Like, I wouldn't say it's definitely not going to be easy. I wish someone had told me that, but it can get better, especially if you decide you're not going to stop fighting. And I mean, I'm still fighting to this day, probably more than I was when I was in the hospital bed, but um, it's worth it to fight for the quality of your life, and, to make yourself feel better. And um, you might feel like totally low right now, but it is possible to recover more, even in little bits and pieces, and you will feel better at some point. So, and there could be good things ahead. Um,
Right.
could feel you could fall in love again. You could feel um, even fall in love with parts of your life again. So um, definitely don't give up and try, yeah, like advocate for yourself. That's like probably the biggest thing, because without advocating for yourself, you could end up in a lot worse situation. So
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you stand up for what you want and let people know.
yeah,
Don't,
exactly.
yeah, closed mouths don't get fed, period.
Yeah, very
Yep.
true. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ellie Rose, thank you so much for coming on the little program we got going on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
I do have to tell you now you are part of the show. So in about a year's time or so, if we go back, we might, hit you up and see how you're doing. Ask you some more questions, see how life's been, and go from there.
All right, sounds good.
All right, stick right with me. Everybody else, we'll see you here shortly on another Wheelchair Wednesday. Until next time, peace.